probably take a look in the presentation of Mark.
Yes.
And we'll have the workshop on 28th too with you.
I will participate in the workshop on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm trying to understand the methodology. I'm new here, but I am now assigned as a leader, a technical leader in my company. I work at Vale Base Metals, so I work in Pará, and I'm trying to assimilate everything. So it's completely new, but I think what advice you can give me about really start the methodology, because we have to improve a lot of results. So we are trying to know the gaps. So we are measuring the gaps we have in our key indicators, but we still have to improve it. We still have to make the strategy. So we will start right now, the next month. So it's new. So I think it's a good opportunity to learn a new methodology. So what advice you can give me in this start?
Can you hear me? Okay. What you say you have to improve the caps. What do you mean? What is caps?
Key KPIs.
KPIs.
Yeah.
KPIs.
Key indicators.
Okay. Which ones are bad?
Like OEE.
OE is bad.
Yes.
Why?
We are trying to understand it, but we are looking at the gaps first. So we didn't start the PDCA, we didn't start anything. We are starting right now. We are in the very beginning.
But you know the gap, right?
Yes.
In the KPI.
Yes.
Okay. So then what's next?
To analyze the main reason, the root cause.
Well, let's start main reason.
Main reason.
What's causing the gap in OE? Now that could be a Hoshin objective for the organization to address those.
Yes.
The gap in OEE.
Yes.
Which is fine. But still, you will need to start in order to. So the example I gave from Turner, where they had a safety gap.
Yeah.
They knew this gap in the recordable incident rate.
But my question was like.
Let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
They knew this gap. They didn't know how to address it until they studied. So you need to study why it's causing this gap. So in their case, they focused on pre-task plan, right? I mentioned in the presentation. How do they do the pre-task plan? This is a problem in their organization. So in your case, we need to break down these KPI gaps, and those can be objectives and activities to focus on for OEE. Like what are the major reasons you mentioned why OEE is not working? Is it a specific site that's struggling? Is it a specific timing? Is it the one shift versus another shift? How do we analyze this and break down this problem? You can use Hoshin to kind of then clarify and put in place some action plan. But if you're coming to the workshop, you will learn more about that.
I will be there.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Anybody with questions for Mark? Yes? No?
Most people aren't.
Oh?
They're wearing
You can wait
I think
a little bit.
they just grabbed a seat here.
Mark, I have a question. How can I begin if I have a company and I call Mark to make Hoshin Kanri, but I don't know anything about this? How can I start? What is the first thing that I start? Because here we have the KPIs, but if I don't have nothing, what is the beginning? I would like to make a company with Hoshin Kanri method.
So what I said, I'll start with what I said, which is what's the business problem to solve? You just mentioned a very specific business problem. What is the business problem to solve? Let's clarify that generally. And then I think it's helpful for the leadership team to do a reflection. Like, what do they feel? What has been most organizations have some type of plan. or strategy, something that's not effective, maybe isn't effective. That's not meeting their objectives. So let's reflect on that. What do we do? And let's do that in a structured way by function. So I'm the HR department. I'm the product development. What was I expected to do last year? What did I actually accomplish? And why did it, what were the gaps that existed from what I planned versus what I actually accomplished? The reason that's valuable is some of that's valuable. We just want to know that information, but it's more valuable because then the leaders in the organization start to realize that everything is not perfect, and they can talk about specific issues that are causing this gap. I mean, it forces the lead, like the OEE gap, it forces the leader, I don't know who's responsible, maybe your production leader is responsible, forces him or her to think about, you know, why does that gap exist? And reflect on that. That opens the door for a conversation. Okay, what should we do then? As an organization, what should we do and what should be our priorities? Because we may come up with a list of 20 or 30 things that the organization, based on that analysis, but how do we break that down and study?
So
In the presentation, you showed a table, and you showed activities how, and you break the activity in 2 PDCAs, I think. But that activity, how you know what you have to do? You said you asked to leadership to reflect, and then you know the activity, and then you decided how projects, the vital points, no, vital few.
Vital few.
Vital few, yeah, vital few. So you did before that, before to select the activities, the how, you did the main cause.
Well, I think like through that reflection I just mentioned, we can study some reasons. And so you're asking the how. So if once we've defined those vital few, we can then each area should determine how, like what will they do? You asked me, how do we know? Well, aren't leaders supposed to know that? I mean, this is like their job. Now, they may not know exactly because they're struggling. They may not know exactly how, but they can try to list up some, you know, like the example I gave from Turner, like improve the pre-task plan. You know, they knew that system was weak. The leaders knew that because from going and seeing, they need to go and see like the issue. Your OEE is bad. When they go to the site, are the machines running? Are they not? They need to go and see. But I mean, you know, not rely just on data, because data won't help you determine the how. You have to go and study and work with your team. I mean, your team probably knows the how too. This is part of engagement of the people. Now, yeah, so the issue is not so, I think the bigger issue I see is not so much the how, it's the number of hows. So they will make a decision to work on 12 different things. That's too many. Like, what are the key activities to focus on to improve performance and achieve that objective? The organization needs to kind of prioritize those things. And this is a learning process. The reality is that many leaders don't know. And so when they're going to try something and it may not work.
Thank you so much, Mark.
yeah, is what you said. Many leaders don't know. And how we do it? We start with the leaders. We start to learn the leaders when they don't know. And after this, we start with Hoshin Kanri.
Well, so usually concurrently, when I work with an organization to do Hoshin Kanri, I also make it a requirement that whoever's involved, that top leadership team, they've got to go through problem solving. So the example I showed of the A-frame dolly, That was actually from a top leader in the organization studied that problem. Because the leaders don't know what's going on. And so they need to be trained to go, like, not just go and see, but actually observe a problem and study it and learn how to do that type of observation and how to support their teams to solve those kind of problems. And so, because like I said, you can create that sheet, you said, that the template, but unless the organization can problem solve, they're not going to, this is going to be a wallpaper.
And we need to have psychology safety, yeah, environment that
Yeah.
we can talking about the problems. Yeah.
Well, that's another value. That's a great point. That's another value of the leaders doing problem solving, because a lot of times leaders just have this assumption that someone's not doing their job well, or it's the problem with the workers are the problem, when in fact they don't know how difficult it is sometimes to solve the problems. So putting them through the experience to really solve a problem, not just do a study, solve a frontline business problem. They see how difficult that is. And I believe that builds some empathy in the organization and builds a capability for leaders to better support. That's my experience.
Thank you, Mark. It's okay. There is another question? No? Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. Obrigada, pessoal. Yeah.